Welcome everybody to the Rhino show. Today we are going to be working on the almost finished Killer Kraton build. So we're going to swap out the rear Integy shock tower for this JBIRC shock tower, which needs cleaned up a little bit. And we're going to switch out the front Integy shock tower for this JBIRC shock tower. And then after that, we'll finish assembling some of the shocks. And we got the shocks here. We gotta do these. I'm still waiting on some parts, but we'll get the shocks on. We'll get the beef brace on. This is CRCU. I mean, this just finishes it off. I think it goes this way. That just makes it look silly. I mean, the whole thing is silly. I mean, the size of this, the size of this, all the aluminum, be it billet or be it 77.5, something like that. A lot of good stuff in this build. I mean, this is probably the best Kraton build that you can do, just because everything's swapped out. I mean, you got titanium pins and all the suspension, and I mean, it's just the best thing I could come up with as far as parts go. And hopefully it'll be done this week. Oh, I can't say that. There's certain parts that aren't going to be here, especially one. But we'll see how far we get this week. Just going to clean up these shock towers a little bit. Get some of the fingerprints off of them. Doesn't look like they really cleaned them off after the CNC process, which is fine. Get these cleaned up now so that after we get them installed, all we have to clean off are the fingerprints that I put on it during the installation. Plus, just need to see that shine. So, there you go. That's pretty shiny. You see that? Yep. So there's the rear. Now, JBIRC does leave the machine marks, which I kind of like, especially on their chassis. It looks really good on their chassis, because you're going to scratch it up anyway. So a little bit of machining marks really don't hurt anything. It actually helps cover up any superficial scratches that you put on it. I can do a little better, but I'm not going to put a whole lot of time into it. So there's the front one. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm not going to do a lot of talking here. I'm going to just get busy and start assembling these. And when I'm done assembling them, we'll check them out and then we'll start putting the shocks on. So first I need a couple screwdrivers. This thing is basically put together with a 2mm and a 2.5mm. So you always have to have those during disassembly. Oh, and since I have, let's see here, this might be a 2. Rotate this around. Get this out of the way. Yeah, it's a 1.5. Some of the grub screws are 1.5. We loosen up these grub screws so that we can take out the upper pins. So there's that. Now we take out these pins. These are Ram Jam. Ram Jam titanium pins, so these are going to be hard to get out. Let's see if I can do it this way. Well, let's go ahead and do some of the other screws, and those should pull right out. So now let's see this. I want to get it so you can see it. So we have 2 pins and 4 screws holding the shock tower on. The 2 pins are for the upper suspension A-arms. These 2 screws here go into the diff covers or bulkheads. Pretty much will be the same on the rear too. One thing I will do here before I put the shock tower back in is I will put new shock mounts on them. something I want you to know, there's not a whole lot of jiggling. Everything in the suspension is tight except now the shock tower because I'm on the last screw. And so now I should be able to pull this out. Yeah. And there's the 2 pins. Now, there are some spacers added to the uppers. Here, if I can get them. So you need to make sure that you don't lose the spacers. Well, and there they are. Sorry for hitting the camera. Alright, so these spacers have to go back in, obviously. Alright. So you can see the difference, how much thicker. This is a solid piece of billet aluminum, and this is a CNC. I mean, these are fine, but if I'm wanting the best of the best, sometimes you have to upgrade, even before you've driven the vehicle. So here I'm going to transfer over the shock or the body mounts. So yesterday I did all the soldering. So I had to make this thing. So I got the big connections on the ESC, soldered that together, and then made this little guy here so I can run 2 batteries into one, giving me 8S. So did that, resoldered some stuff on the basher to make it exactly like that so I can switch out ESCs or whatever if I need to. That took me all of my day. Which everything went well. I finally switched over my soldering iron to a bigger tip, and that made it a lot easier. You cannot use your normal small tip to solder on here because the heat just doesn't get strong enough on the gold tabs. I mean, it takes a lot of heat to get those things warmed up. They're pretty big terminals. So the first 1 or 2 I did with the normal soldering iron tip, and it just took forever. And then I finally realized, well, I've got bigger tips. Let's try a bigger tip. And after that, everything went really smooth. So just keep that in mind if you're ever going to use those big connections. I know a lot of people don't. But the reason I did it is I run 8S in my SCX6. I'm running 8S in the basher, and I'm running 8S in this. And so I can switch ESCs in all three of them. I could switch batteries in all three of them. It just makes it easier that they're all the same. So it took me a little time, but it's worth it in the long run. I've got a lot of safety involved. Like if my basher blows an ESC, I take out 4 little screws on the bottom, put the 4 little screws back in, and I get a brand new ESC in the basher. And then I can worry about warranty or whatever I need to worry about with the other one. The only hobby wing that I've ever used before is the one in my little Team Associated Reflex 14B. It runs great, but I don't know. Sometimes just worry about new companies that I don't use, especially on electronics. If you find somebody good, you gotta stick with them. Tighten these up with a Gorilla Grip. So that they don't come out. Alright, so there's the body mounts on it. Let me find my other new set. I've got a box full of everything that I purchased that I'm not using. So if I change my mind, all I gotta do is look in that box. And I got all the parts. Alright, so let's see if these screw right in. No, they don't. God damn it. So I'm going to have to drill these holes out. That sucks. I was really hoping I could just run these as is, but that's not going to happen. So let's me show you what I do. I'm going to take out these pins. So this includes something that I just purchased. I just purchased Drill America bit cooler, drill bit carrying case, which includes all their carbide drill bits. So I need to find the one that I need for this. Maybe one smaller. Actually, it is this one. And these are metric. And they are greasy, so. Let's see, comparatively speaking, yeah, right in the middle. Wood out. As you can see, this is my indoor piece of wood that I use for drilling. Beautiful fit. Perfect. All right, so every time I have aluminum that doesn't fit, or wood or plastic or whatever, I just drill it out. I mean, a lot of people won't do it on, I mean, yeah, these are $200 $200 shock towers, but you gotta do what you gotta do to get them done right now. Where did I put, oh, here's the other one. Here's the rear. We really need to do the same thing to the rear, so let's go ahead and do it before I finish cleaning up here. FYI, these drill bits are killer. I've broke so many drill bits trying to do this improperly. Now that I got the proper drill bits, they just float through like butter. Okay, so I drilled out both upper mounts so I can choose which one I like. I think I'm going to do the same thing to this one so that if I need to, sorry I'm doing this off camera, it's just the easiest way to hold it. And I don't want to mess it up just because I'm trying to get it on camera. But you can see, alright, so now all those are opened up to the EXB standard. Alright, so now let's clean up our mess. The drill bit. I'm really happy with these drill bits. Now these drill bits were about 80 bucks, but you can use them for anything. And just based on me drilling aluminum, they're gonna last forever. So I got them on Amazon. Drill America, the bit cooler. Anyway, keep that in mind next time you need some drill bits. You can buy some for $6, but they're gonna last like you bought some for $6. And 90% of the time, they won't even make it through aluminum. So if you're cutting aluminum, you need to get specific drill bits so that they go through them like butter. Which, these drill bits are the first ones I've ever owned. Well, I take that back. Back in the car days, I had some pretty good stuff. Let's get all this shit off the table so we can get back to work. Oh, I wanted to show this too. Ovonic 6000 milliamp hour 4S. It's only a 60C, so it's not a high discharge, even though they say it is. 60C is not high discharge. But 45 bucks for a 4S 6000 milliamp. So you buy a couple of these, you know, you got 90 bucks in batteries, and I mean, it's longer than most, but it fits just fine inside the battery holder. So keep that in mind. Ovonic, you can go to their website and pick you up some. They're on sale. That's why I bought a couple. I've got enough batteries. I've got probably 10 4S batteries. So alrighty folks, let's get down to business. We got our aluminum all drilled out, looking fly. Now these on here. Oh, it's a 7. Alright. When soldering, you know, they have all the stands. I have some of the stands and stuff, but I found that using this right here, you can clamp onto it and just have control of wherever you want it just by holding on to this. So just a little tricky trick there. One shock tower. Alright, there's our shock towers. Front shock tower ready to get assembled. I'm gonna go ahead and put the shock connectors on the rear. I think we'll go in the bottom spot. Obviously that might change. And the reason I'm putting new shock mounts on this is because then I have a set of shock towers that are ready to go. So both of those, the ones that are on it, I could put back on it if I need to because they've already got the mounts on them ready to go. So I put these in my bag. If these break or bend or crack or whatever, I can just throw one of these on if needed. And also, it can be used on the basher as well. Which obviously that one's going to get more basher use. So that's the one you got to worry about. But I might just put those shock towers on the basher and just hold on to the EXB shock towers in case we need them. All right. Shock towers ready to go. One thing I will do is I will transfer over the little bit of hardware. I do have extras of these, so if something happens, I've got these on hand. I think these just go right here. Hope everybody's having a great week. This is spring break here. That's why I've been able to work on this so much, and I happen to take my kid to school and all that good stuff. So it's kind of been a mini vacation for me. Next week we go back to school. Yeah. I don't know how the weather is at your place, but here it is 65 degrees and thunderstorming. So it kind of feels like spring, honestly. Alright, so now we're ready to assemble back in to the vehicle. Sorry about that, the dog is not used to thunder. I kind of think I might be able to use a different screw. This here, that actually looks better. Oh, wrong hole. Alright, so let's try these. These use the bigger. They're going to be a little long, I think, but well, what's my problem here? That's just been how I was putting it in. this. Yeah, my bits were in the wrong spot. Yeah, a little long. I think these are too short, maybe. I don't know, that's pretty good. I'm gonna take out these big ones, put in the little ones. If I can get them. Long ones just don't make any sense. And you'll see me at the end when it's tightening. I let the gun go its own way because if I hold it, this will not stop. There's no, it says it has torque settings, but it don't. All right, there's 2 of the screws. Now we get 2 more. Shit. I give up. Well, this ain't good. They're kind of magnetic, so maybe I can get it out this way. Finally out the bottom. So, one thing I need to do is magnetize my tip. Didn't like that. Anywho, I guess we'll just hold it. dog's freaking out due to the thunder. So you might hear him bark here shortly. Yeah. Shock tower in place. Looks beautiful. So put that one up somewhere. Now we just got to do the pins. Which is the great thing about the pins. Is that they just slide right in. Hold that in. Then we tighten up the grub screw. That looks great. To finish this side, I need a thick and thin spacer. One spacer. Now you can see there's barely any wiggle. And that's what you want. So now let's go to the other side. Then shit. So yeah, we're getting a big thunderstorm. You see how much slop is in here? And that I think is done on purpose. And they give me these little spacers, which I had to buy extras because obviously this is ground up build, so I didn't have any spacers, so I had to buy some. It might still be on camera. I don't know, but I gotta get this in here so we can be finished with the front. There, finally. Alrighty, so there we have it. There is the front, the new front shock tower, all ready for some shocks. Now I'm gonna end this video and I'm gonna start up a new video where I do the rear and the shocks together, so that the videos aren't really long. This is a really long video and the next one will be 2, but I don't want a 4-hour video, so I'm going to break it up into 2. So I'll see you soon. Thanks everybody, have a great day.